more hips for strength and function, balancing the hips from right to left and front to back. Often what we see is the femur, which is the thigh bone, isn't fitting really well into the socket. That's called the acetabulum. So if it's riding a little bit forward because we're tight in the front of the hips, then what happens is often people get pinched in the front of the hip. So this exercise that we're going to be doing is going to help locate and balance the top of the thigh in the hip socket. Plus, it also is great for shaping. So what you'll do is you're going to lay down on your side. It's called a clam, and you may see this in physical therapy if you've done physical therapy at all. You're going to take your bottom leg and you're going to lay it at about a 90-degree angle at the knee. You're going to take your top foot, the heel of your foot, and put that in the arch. That is like a socket. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put your arm down as a kickstand. You're going to bring the knee down and bring the knee up. Now I want to show you a really specific cue that I give that helps people feel this more. I'm going to have you, as you go to lift the knee, the first thing that you're going to do preempting that is bring that top hip slightly forward as you lift. So it's like giving me your top hip as you lift. And that pre-flexes the butt. And let's continue there. When you do this right, you should be able to find that muscle pretty quickly. And this is the gluteus medius muscle. This is the side butt. When this muscle is strong, intact, and neurally connected, you're stable in your walking. Your knees have support. This is very good for knee support. It's good for strengthening the hips and keeping the hips balanced, like I said. So as I lift the knee, I'm bringing that top hip slightly forward. Now, if you were to look at me, you wouldn't be able to see that I'm doing anything, but I am sort of pre-flexing by bringing it slightly forward, okay? I like to use this hand as a kickstand. Now I'm gonna hold the top and I'm slightly driving that top hip forward as I keep this at the top of my range, and I'm flexing that muscle, feeling that muscle flex. It's getting more tired, it's starting to burn. And now just relax, and then you can pat it out and then do the other side. But what I wanna show you is when you're ready, then you can add bands to this. Now, I want to encourage you not to do it with bands at first so that you can make that connection between the brain, the command center, and the muscle and get the form really good. Because what happens is people end up throwing this and they ruin the form, and then their form's not good. So these bands, I can put a link in the description. When you put them on, you want to keep them straight at the ankles, and then you bring them up. You want them to be nice and straight. You don't want them to bunch up because it cuts into your flesh. It's basically the same thing. You're down on your shoulder. You bring your knees at about 90 degrees at the knees. The heel of the foot is in the socket of in the arch of the foot, which creates a socket. The bands are around your knees. Hand is kickstand. I'm gonna lift the knee, but doing the same technique. I bring my hips slightly forward as I lift. So in my mind, if I were to make this into like a timeline, and I would just slow down the timeline really slow on this action, I bring the hip forward, bring the knee forward as I lift, and it absolutely pre-flexes that muscle. So where you should feel that is right here to here, okay? And it's a really great exercise. Your numbers are going to be fatigue. I'm not going to give you a number. I'm just going to say go to fatigue. And then stop and rest and do another 5 or 10, go to fatigue. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to combine that exercise with the opposite end of the hip. We've got the outside and we've got the inside. We've got the groin. My experience is that most people are not addressing your groins. I learned that the hard way, even after years of being a trainer, that I needed to address the groin more, not just for aesthetics, but for balance of the hip. Top leg down, flat on the foot. The other foot, the heel is gonna meet the toe. I'm gonna have a kickstand down. Now I'm not on my side I'm not on my back. I'm halfway between my side and my back. I'm on the corner of my butt, the lying butt. I'm gonna bring the knee up and bring the knee down. You're gonna feel a lot also in the belly. This works your core as well. Bring the knee up to squeeze that top leg and then down. The top leg is not doing anything, it's just staying there and stabilizing you. It's flat into the floor. The bottom leg is doing the work, and that's where you're gonna feel the work is in this groin. Little pause at the top. Look at the cadence at which I'm using, is that I am going up, pausing, and then going down. What you see people do when they're cheating is they run up, they sort of throw it. They throw it like that. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to go up slowly, give it a distinct pause, come on down. Almost all your motions, I would coach you to do that way with that kind of cadence is come on up, give it a slight pause, come on down. Now, if I want to make it harder, I can pause that for 5 seconds or 10 seconds. That's called an isometric, where you're not creating motion, but you're exerting the muscle. Now, another thing I can do is I can come to the top and then I can squeeze both knees together and hold that for 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1 and come it down, rest it out. Let's go ahead and circle those knees. Now, remember I told you about flushing? This is one way to flush the acids that we just built up and renew the tissue with new resources, oxygen, nutrients, heat, and fluids. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to up-level that one. We added the band for the outside. Now we're going to add a ball, or we're going to add a towel. If you don't have a ball, a towel. I've rolled up the towel. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put my top foot down flat. My other foot, the heel is going to meet the toe. I'm on the corner of my butt. I'm not on the side. I'm not on the back. I'm right in between. And I'm going to put this towel right here, okay? And then what we're going to do from there is I'm going to bring the bottom leg up and squeeze and down. Both knees are going to have to come down to keep the towel in place. And down. So squeeze into that towel and then release. Squeeze into that towel and then release. Squeeze, pause, see that builds in the pause, and then release. 5, and down, and 4, and down. Now I am squeezing a little bit with that top leg. As you get tired in the bottom leg, add that top leg and squeeze and hold now. Hold that for 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and rest. Okay, now I want to up level that one more time. What I'm going to suggest though is that you don't up level it on your own. Do the first part, do the basic without the towel. Then the second part is you add the towel. Now here's a third one, but I wouldn't do this right away. Build your foundation, get the technique done right. Now here is an up level. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the ball for this demonstration. I'm going to put the ball here. Again, you can use a towel. I'm going to squeeze and release. And squeeze and release. 5, and 4, and 3, and 2. I'm going to hold the next one. Hold the next one. Extend that bottom leg. Pull the toes towards you. Bend. I'm still squeezing the ball, but now I'm adding another piece. This is more core. This is more groin. You're going to feel that in the inner thigh. Groin and inner thigh are synonymous. 2 more. Good. And here's the last one. Hold there. Squeeze your knee to the other knee. And 5. I'm giving you another up level. 3, and 2, and 1. Awesome. Okay, lay on your back. Flesh it out. Circle those knees. Allow the knees to go where they will. Your arms are controlling the action. Very nice.